Nope, where's that music? But we're back with Peak One Gambles as we try to turn one stake coin into one Bitcoin. I am Dan Boyer, aka Neon Super Shrimp, and let's get this going. There's okay. Yeah. Seems to be lagging a little bit right now. That's okay. And as always, kick off with the late registration here. So, yeah. Let me check the messages and stuff. I think Kenny, aka Reckless, may jump in and talk a little college football today with us. But while we play some poker and everything, but in the meantime, I think I missed a day this week when I was claiming my daily bonuses. I must have missed a day. Just don't have anything. I don't even have a heart, so. See if I can turn on this TCU game as well. Maybe check on that Colorado game periodically. That's a really good football tonight. And if anybody caught it, it's not what it was. The Friday night football game that we covered last night on Peak One was a dynamite show, best viewership. TCU been playing pretty well this season so far too, which makes me happy. I suddenly realized I'm not wearing my TCU shirt like I should have been on game day, but it's been a weird day. And this guy's like super nervous about playing this King 4-5. Like, just bet at it. Solid bet. I feel like these guys are gonna fold. I'm not gonna lie, I missed this guy down here. Oh, I knew he was gonna fold. He took too long to call last time. Jack 4, ooh, trip 4s. That's pretty good. You were too damn cocky about your 10s. That was a foolish bet in my opinion. Especially when the board paired the 4. And there's a king on the board. It's just a bad bet. Just go all in here so I can fold. Oh, this guy wants to play a couple of hands, I guess. This guy thinks he's got some luck in him. Excuse me. Oh, I need to play some hands. That's so funny. I would have also had 10s and 8s. Come on. Getting just really shitty hands right now. But 2-6, 3-8. Need some hands to come. Need some hands to come to me pretty soon. Because blinds are coming back around, and I'm pretty sure they're going to go up very shortly. So we got a flush. I mean, if it's only going to leave you with like 275, 175, why don't you just go all in? You're pot committed now. You know, so you might as well just put this in and have him call you. Instead, you're just wasting everybody's time. Told you he had that flush. I knew he was betting on it too. Oh, come on, give me like a give me like a 7 deuce deuce flop, you know? All right, well, I still have like a decent pair, but there's an ace, which check. Checks. Let's go with half the pot. Oh crap, I meant to bet. Crap. Split the pot. Honestly, it was the wrong time to bet. There's a possible flush out here now. Possible straight flush. Man, just the odds of a straight though are so good. There's no way I can call this. Like, even though I got trips, there's no way I can call this. There's a possible flush out there. There's a possible straight flush. There's a possible straight. Like, so annoying. And I mean, I would have liked to have called, but there were so many other things out there that were obviously better than my hand. Oh, I see. I was like, why did you raise to 175? But I must have finally got a hand he wanted to play. Which, you know, was up to him. So you got a pocket pair. This sucks. But I have nothing. Because I still need 2 cards for a straight. I have no spades. I was holding your queen. Should be ace. Oh, super annoying. I have not been like very lucky the last few weeks. My mojo's off, I think. To be honest, I feel like I might have been, maybe I've been like chasing my losses since I kind kind of lost it all a couple of weeks ago, and that's always like the wrong strategy. Yeah, with points. Oh man, I definitely thought the 6 was a club. Oh, what was that? Dang, Angel Reese suffers a season-ending injury. Oh. I have nothing, right? I'd be chasing a club here. Fuck it. Damn. Not even a helpful card, not even a king. Ugh. Flush. Oh, man, if another club would have come out, I would have made so much money. Now TCU scores again. 30-0. Sorry, I got distracted by this TCU game. About to be 31-0 with just under 2 minutes left in the half. If there weren't two hearts, I would have checked. Half the pot, 900. I'm just gonna go all in. Nice. Oh, that didn't hurt this guy at all. Jesus, how many times did he double up? Hoping I can just check through. Riff, ram, bazoo, lickety, lickety, zoo, zoo, hoo, wah, wah, hoo. Give them hell, TCU. So I'm talking earlier at the beginning of this game saying that I guess, whoever the mathematicians are, I'm not putting $1,000 on Deuce 9. Whoever the mathematicians are and, statisticians and whatever for football and everything, they basically put it at like an 11% chance for TCU to win the Big 12. I think Kansas was the leader with, they only had like a 15% chance or something like that. But, oh, my man got a flush. Man, I'm just not getting any hands, which is crazy because I feel like I always think about like the numbers and the math and it's like, at some point the numbers should be on my side where I should get decent cards, but it just never seems to happen. I'm gonna fold this, right? Yeah. Ugh. Just need some cards. Ooh, the 9. Yeah. Ugh. 3 Jack. Jesus. Feels like, I mean, I gotta play hands, and I definitely need to play more hands while they're cheaper. He's gonna bet. He's in that 3 spot. Right? Way to go, money bags. Again. At least this one's suited, I guess. Yeah. Let's see, I was right. The blinds went up. Air my jacks and it's all fucking clubs. Come on. This is probably too aggressive, but I'm probably tilting right now just because I'm a little annoyed that I'm able to like finally flop a pair with this full but it's all clubs, you know? Like, it's so annoying. Like, I couldn't afford to take the risk of their like another club landing, you know? Got mid pair. He's got an ace. Not call. He's got an ace or he's chasing a flush. He has to bet here. I'm going over the top. Damn. I knew that was a bad decision. Man, I haven't been able to play in one of these tournaments the last 2 weeks for more than like 20 or 30 minutes. Which is a little demoralizing, I'm not gonna lie. It's annoying, that's what it is. Alright, I guess I'm gonna jump in here. We'll play a little more poker and kind of extend the show just a little bit. I wasn't even paying attention. This is another tournament. Unregister. Yeah. Oh yeah. See, that's not even until 9:30. So, you know, not for another hour. Let's just see if we can. I guess let's try this one and we'll buy in for 2. Both of these only have 9 players, so let's go Maverick 19. Kind of hoping to kick this away guy out. He's got no cash. I in for 2. Yep, that's exactly what it did. Still out for a hand though. Stupid. Jesus. Checkaroonie. So annoying. Fold, 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 fold. Halftime in Fort Worth. TCU 31. Was it like Long Island or something? 0. It's not even like a quality school. It's still, week 2 of college football, so plenty of like tune-up games and warm-up games against slack-ass schools and whatever. Hey, buddy. What's going on? Five, 3. Hold. And I mean, I feel like for like, I don't know, the last 5-10 years, maybe longer, I guess. Maybe even like 20 years actually. I've been like rooting for Notre Dame to kind of get back to their old, like 70s national championship winning ways, and they just keep disappointing. It's only one loss, and we'll see what else happens throughout the season. There's still a chance for them to like make it into the top 12 to make the playoffs, but I don't know, man. That's a tough loss. That's a tough loss to take. Kenny, were you gonna jump on here and talk some shit about that Texas-Michigan game, or you just hanging out in the chat? What's up? All right, are we back now? I think we're back, right? Hang on, Kenny. Kenny, if you just go to StreamYard, like you're gonna, like host a show or run a show or whatever, you can just join in to this stream. A penny on my pair of fives, I guess. I think we got it back. I think we're good. Oh, you're in here? Just add, I think you can just add yourself to the thing. Hang on, let me see if I can do it. There you are. There you are. Should be in here now.
There we go. What's up?
What's up, buddy? How you feeling?
Doing all right. I kind of look... Yeah, I can hear you now. But I'm repeating myself.
Oh, you're good.
But let's take a little poll here. So my buddy decided he was going to come over because he's a huge Michigan fan.
Yeah.
I'm in the hospital for those who don't know, so it's a big deal to have a visitor over. And he decided that at halftime, because his Michigan Wolverines were getting the absolute throats stomped in, that he was just going to go home and unpack his new apartment.
Yeah, I was laughing a little bit because I was literally wondering how Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports was feeling about the game. And then like at halftime, just after halftime, I was like scrolling TikTok, and it was like Texas scored their last touchdown before the half, and I guess Dave was like, all right, let's go to the airport, like just ready to go, like did not want to watch the second half of that game. But I mean, you and I talked a little bit about it beforehand a little, and I mean, well, you thought they were going to blow the doors off them a little more than they did. I had no doubt that the stream's repeating us really bad. Like, are you listening to the stream and also us? Or is it just on Facebook? Hang on, I'm gonna mute myself.
Wait, I think I got it. I think it was I think it was on. I think I had two browsers open that had it open. There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not having that issue. So,
I thought it was gonna be, and I mean, in all honesty, it should have been. Texas let off the gas. Like even Matthew McConaughey said it at halftime. Like, there's no reason we should be throwing the ball anymore, and they basically didn't throw the ball the rest of the game. Which, we
didn't have to.
No, I wouldn't either. Like, why risk anything? At that point, the game's already out of reach for them. They're not going to score 30 points on you. What?
No, they had a hard time getting any real rhythm.
Yeah, they had a hard time getting anything. But it's part of it's the age-old adage. And the part that bugged me the most about it was, he hadn't been to visit me yet, and he lives fucking 5 minutes away. And I didn't really invite him yet. It was the first time. He's like, yeah, I'll come over and watch the whole game. And I'm like, all right, sweet. That'll be cool. Have somebody to watch that game with. I'll be able to make fun of you because you haven't shut up about Michigan beating Ohio State for the last 3 years. And they, I'm like, dude, it's going to be bad. Texas is really good right now. Quinn Ewers, I don't think played his best game, but he didn't even have to, at all. Like, he didn't really need to do anything.
What more did you want from the guy? He put up 200 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I mean, Michigan could have taken a bunch of those away from him. They didn't play well on defense, but he wasn't as accurate as he normally is, which, being in the big house, it's not an easy place to play to begin with. So, we could chalk it up a little bit to that, but that just bugged me. I'm like, bro, are you serious? And it was right at halftime. He goes, this is fucking bullshit, because it was 21-3. And he's like, I'm just gonna go home and clean up my new apartment, because he moved into he's still living in the same condo development, but his old landlord sold the condo he was living in, so he just rented another one across the condo. How many Duke's Mayo Classics are there today? I think I just saw a second or third one. There is so much football on. I love it.
Oh,
the only bad part is I can't get the Oklahoma game on the TV here right now. It's on the SEC network, so I gotta watch it on my computer or my phone at some point. Oh damn! Alabama's hanging with South Florida, or South Florida rather is hanging with Alabama. Let's throw that on in the background. Right, how we doing poker wise here, man? We doing
I
all
already
right?
lost out. I already lost out in that tournament, so I'm just playing on a normal table right now.
Holy crap! South Florida's outgaining Alabama. I know we're not seeing the death of Alabama,
Damn.
but I figured Alabama would hold up a little bit better. If anybody's been checking it out, the Tennessee game was pretty good. The NC State, has kind of shot themselves in the foot a couple of times so far in that game. It should be, probably a tie game. Yeah, Colorado's not very good. Deion's a great coach, great recruiter. But he's got 2 players. There's nobody else that went to Colorado really. He's got and a whole bunch of guys who are basically Division I AA guys.
But that's the hype, right? Is that Deion's brought in all these guys. He brings in this level of experience and coaching and everything. Then last season, because they had only had one win 2 seasons ago. And so when Deion started off with them last season, their first season, they managed to get 5 wins. 3 of them were in the first 3 weeks. They beat TCU week 1. So there was all this hype around, Deion Sanders and the building of this program and everything. And now they come back, and it was last week they barely hung in there and managed to beat who was it?
That's an unfair team to compare it to.
And then this week they come in and they play against Nebraska, and they look like a JUCO team.
Well, Nebraska, I forget the name of their new coach, Brett Rule, rather. I was gonna say, I almost forgot his name. He's, him being there is a blessing for for Nebraska. It finally looks like Nebraska's going to be like, because Nebraska hasn't been competitive since their first year in the Big Ten. So that's been since they left the Big 12, like 13 years, and Ndamukong Suh was still at Nebraska at that point in time. So, Nebraska's actually, recruited well. And I was watching a 30 for 30. I think some of that is Nebraska's figured out how to get, a bunch of pretty girls there because of the volleyball program. Nebraska broke apparently 25 different records for girls volleyball attendance for college, which is pretty cool. So, Nebraska, I think the whole school's on the up and up right now. Deion, the problem is you can't Travis Hunter is a great two-way player. I can't believe it. I don't know if anybody remembers a player who played for Ohio State by the name of Michael Jenkins back in the Jim Tressel era when they won when they beat Miami for the national title. Then he ended up, when he got to the pros, they just they took away the whole wide receiver aspect of it, which for obvious reasons. And it's the kid's gonna be, by the time he gets to the pros, with how much they use him, he's playing, say he's 125 snaps in a game. He played 122 the other night, or the one game. The guy doesn't, he's how do I put this the polite way? Yeah, he's gonna be burnt out by the time he's 23 years old. And Shadir Sanders, I think is a lot better than people realize, but he doesn't really have many people to throw it to. Deion did recruit, but I mean, it's still Buffalo, or it's still Colorado rather. You're not talking about Texas, you're not talking about Oklahoma, you're not talking about Ohio State. You're talking about a team that the last time they were ranked in the top 5 was 1992 when Cordell Stewart was there. They're still going to take time to rebuild. I think they're going to improve on last year's numbers. I'm actually impressed Deion's still there. I don't think Deion will be there once his kids graduate. I think Deion will end up at a much bigger school, which will be unfortunate for Colorado. But I think he'll end up, especially in Alabama right now, who's Alabama's playing South Florida, and it's 14-13, and they're in Alabama. This is insanity. So a school like Alabama, I think, is going to be looking to upgrade. I think what's his face, Kelly from LSU is going to end up out of town. I think Matt Rule from Florida is going to end up chased out of town. Captain, my arms are the size of Hulk Hogan's, and I can't open an Aquafina bottle. I think there's going to be a lot of big openings at big schools, and I can't see him staying. Once Travis Hunter and Shadir Sanders are gone, I can't see him staying. I don't know if anybody watches a ton of SportsCenter like I do, because again, I'm finishing up a hospital stay, getting better. But and there's not much else to do. But I don't see Deion staying there once Shadir's gone. And I think Shadir's going to be a Heisman finalist on a team that's not going to be good his senior year. And they, I think Stephen A. Smith and someone else were saying, you look out, because what a guy like Jerry would be doing is, if he's not going to pay Dak, he's going to bring in, a kid like Shadir Sanders, a guy like Hunter. And Shadir's going to end up, I think Shadir's going to end up a perfectly capable NFL quarterback. I know a lot of people don't think he is, but because, he is a little bit undersized. But,
Are you watching this kid today?
Which one?
Shadir Sanders.
I can't right now. Like I had to watch it on my the Nebraska game. I turned it off. It was getting boring. I was watching the Ohio State game for a minute.
Destroyed. Like,
well, he's got no line either. You know, it's like watching Eli Manning for those 5 years.
I think it's funny, but like I don't agree with like 90% of what you're saying. I do agree that I don't think Sanders will stay at Colorado, which is ultimately going to like screw Colorado in the long run, because he'll be halfway through rebuilding a program and then he's going to just leave and try to go to the NFL with his kid. But I mean, I genuinely think that like Deion Sanders is doing everything that he's supposed to be doing. He's like this big time recruiter. He brought in, like, he got the most transfers this year out of anybody in NCAA at, like, I think they said it was like 46 or something like that, which is basically an entire roster. So I mean, you can't say that like they're not bringing any talent or whatever. Like, he's the draw and he's the whole reason that like at the very least players that are better than what they had before are currently occupying the roster. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not trying to say that they're necessarily like a top 10 team or anything. I think Deion Sanders likes to think that they are, but you know, like, I mean, pretty much like you said, they're in the middle of trying to rebuild this program, and like their two best players, I mean, like, they're good and all, but you know, like they can't be the only ones when you're trying to focus your entire team on like these two players. It's like everybody knows what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I think that was an advantage for them last year in those like first 3 games. But once everybody kind of got used to like Sanders' style of play and like how, you know, now you've got some more film and everything on Travis Hunter, it just makes it easier to be able to like play these guys. And especially when they're playing up against like higher caliber teams like Nebraska tonight. Like, it just
well, I mean,
like
and Nebraska's not exactly a high caliber team right now.
But I mean, they're right up there with like they're at least on like an even level with Colorado.
See, like the big thing I think
blowing the doors off of them.
I think the thing that people like forget is North Dakota State University. If I'm the commissioner of FCS, I would have already been pushing North Dakota State to move up, and that would have been when Carson Wentz was there. Like, that school is way too good to be an FCS school anymore. We're talking. That's the type of school like a
but to go
like
from
when
in one division
you remember
losing in another it's a lot of money.
You remember back in the day? Well, I don't know how much of a joke it was for you because you're not a Buckeye, but there was the big joke. It was literally on the front page of the Columbus Dispatch. It was what kind of battery does it take to beat Michigan? 1 AA, and that was when Appalachian State beat Michigan, and now App State is an FBS school and is actually competing and playing. I think North Dakota State would have no problem doing that, and Colorado is on the lower end of Division One, like of FBS right now. Colorado needs a couple more years. And you really don't think Shadir Sanders is as good as advertised?
No, not at all.
Okay. I think, he might not end up playing quarterback, but, he's fast. He's got a decent arm.
I think that says a lot about like players that go from like playing quarterback in the NFL or in college and then go to the NFL and end up playing something else. It speaks to like their athleticism, but I mean, it definitely says like you're not a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like,
Cordell Stewart is a perfect example of that.
Yeah,
I don't know if everybody remembers him.
Robinson, when he got drafted by the Jaguars out of Michigan, he didn't play quarterback. He did fine as like a running back, receiver, option type guy, but I'm not even really going to say that I think that like Sanders isn't like athletic and that he might be able to compete in the NFL and everything, but I don't know, man. I don't feel like I've seen enough like
killer.
I don't know. I feel like the hype. Yeah, like he just, and especially like watching him tonight and everything, like it feels like he's panicking like a lot tonight, And I mean, like their O-line okay at I mean, it hasn't done as well as Nebraska's O-line, but Nebraska's O-line has been.
I think if
tonight, but
if Deion gets smart, Hunter will end up being a high quality, like Honey Badger type of defensive back. He just gave a great interview, Patrick Peterson. He's like, I'm somehow retired. I'm not officially retired. It's if somebody came a calling and it's the right team. The only way I'm coming back right now is if confetti's hitting my head.
I mean, I think Travis Hunter just needs to pick a side of the ball and focus on it.
I mean, he won't. He's cocky and he's too good.
He could be a really good receiver. He could be a really good DB, but he needs to pick one or the other.
I think what's going to end up happening is he's going to end up, getting drafted, and then wherever he lands in the NFL, they're going to be like, "This is your position," and it's going to be whatever he plays best. And he could be a great.
I don't feel like those
receiver.
players last in the NFL.
Cordell Stewart played almost 20 years in the NFL. He played quarterback and wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he lasted almost 20 years. Oddly enough, he went to Colorado and played quarterback at Colorado.
Who?
And Cordell Stewart. I don't know if you remember him. He was basically the backup quarterback / kick returner / wide receiver for the Steelers.
He played 11
year.
seasons, but
11. Okay, I thought he played more than that, but he was.
No, I was like 20 is unreal. Like 20 is Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like,
well, Jerry Rice played like 22.
I thought it was just short. I thought it was like Peyton Manning. He was like 16 or 18 or something like that.
I thought Jerry Rice's last years were like when he barely had hair and was still trying to keep the cornrows and was in Vegas. But I think 11 years, even though 11 years in the NFL is still a really good career.
Sure, I mean the average is only like 2 seasons.
Yeah, he was there. He was there when he was in Pittsburgh when they lost to Dallas in the Super Bowl. What was that, like 96 or something like that? When Pittsburgh, I think Chris O'Donnell was the quarterback of the Steelers then, right before the Jets traded for him, and then his career tanked because he got injured every 10 minutes. It seems to be, that's so Jets. But I think I think Hunter's going to be fine in the NFL. I gotta say, I think, and I forget who it was on ESPN that brought it up, and that's why I'm kind of going to repeat it again. They're like, one of these GMs, like Jerry Jones might be like, if he doesn't figure out the Dak situation, draft Shadir Sanders, because Deion's already been like, my kids are only allowed to play for the teams I played for.
Ooh, I
Washington.
hate that idea.
Huh?
I hate that idea. I mean, I don't really want Dak to get paid or anything, but I don't like I would rather get like Quinn Ewers.
I mean, at this point, you got to pay Dak. Like $55 million in dead cap space is what's going to happen if you don't pay Dak.
Yeah, but he's going to want a $60 million a year contract. And I mean, don't get me wrong, taking that dead cap space hit is going to suck. But it's either like take that dead cap space hit, or you end up paying Dak $60 million a year to keep doing the bullshit that he's doing right now. And you have to restructure his contracts anyway to push that money out. You know what I mean? So you're gonna pay that money anyway. I would argue just take the fucking hit and
what's it like? 2 years of $55 million, or is it just the one? Because if it's just the one, then just draft the QB.
I'm not sure if I think it's just the one, but it could.
Well, then yeah, I thought it was a couple of years at dead cap space, but at that point, if it's just the one, fuck it, just take the 1 year.
But yeah, I would just
eat the year, pay it.
I mean, don't get me wrong either, because all of this is kind of indicative or dependent on the season he has this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what happens, you know, if
and there is always a possibility that they sign a contract or something mid-season. Who knows?
Yeah. And what happens if, you know, like, so if the craziness happens and Dak takes them to the Super Bowl, do you want him back then if he goes to the Super Bowl and loses?
Well, see, that's going to be the crazier thing, right? Is because, like, if Dak actually goes, because honestly, in my opinion, right, it's really kind of an all or nothing situation for like everyone involved, right? Either Dak is going to do exactly what he's been doing, and he'll get you into like the first round of the playoffs and lose, and you're not going to pay him. He's probably going to go somewhere else where they will pay him. He's gone, and we end up having to like draft somebody, build a little bit, whatever. Or Dak makes it to at least the NFC Championship, possibly even a Super Bowl, and then he's going to start commanding absolute top dollar contracts for, you know, the next seasons or whatever, however many seasons he's looking for.
Well, here's the big question: the Cowboys
contract. So,
if that happens and the Cowboys still decide not to sign him, where do you see him landing?
I mean, if he manages to get at least a few like playoff wins and gets us to the NFC Championship, I'm pretty confident that they'll pay him.
But what if he's pissed off and won't sign?
Losing in the first round of the playoffs, or we miss the playoffs, or whatever. I mean, there's a third of the league that's always in like rotation, QB rotation anyway.
Yeah,
I think Vegas would probably be like a
Vegas.
Player. They would be
New Orleans right now.
New Orleans would probably be one. The Browns.
So that's it. That's another nightmare, which is kind of funny. Like, you know, but what a crappy human for that. Like
yeah.
That couldn't have happened to a better human. I really do not like Deshaun Watson. I don't think, you know, they've suspended guys for much longer for a lot less, and you know the dude's basically even proved to be a sexual predator. Like,
yeah,
how is this kid? How did he get, like, he got what, the 1 year suspension or 10-week suspension or whatever it was?
Damn.
You don't have enough to enter another tournament, do you?
No, I do, but I just have like the 4. I'm gonna go see if I can double this up on a Baccarat. Actually, I don't even think well, maybe I can.
And you know, this is the best time of the year, like having all this college football. Like, there's like 25 late games tonight too. There's like 8 games on at like 10:30 too that are Eastern, for the record. That I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, being a football fan on the East. Oh, that would have been awesome. We would have come in here and just bet on a tie.
NC State
player
is
banker.
now getting slaughtered.
Player banker.
I would go banker.
Banker. Yeah, I mean,
you'll be happy about this. Houston is now a field goal behind Oklahoma, and Oklahoma can't move the football.
Nice. Good call.
I know you hate Oklahoma with your whole heart there, Dan. And
Let
Houston
it ride?
I would. And Houston is
Banker again? All right.
Yeah, oh yeah. And Houston is hanging with, and just it's now 14-12. So, and Oklahoma apparently can't figure out how to move the ball. Clemson is now awake, beating the hell out of App State.
Man, I know this isn't necessarily like a local thing for you, but DeSoto is they were number 4 in the nation high school football team, and they were upset last night by North Crowley in just an absolute shootout. It was like 51-58 or something at the end.
Is that like like Florida has like ING Academy?
Yeah, kind of. Oh, let's go. All right, we can run away from this now. Let's go back to Fantasy Poker.
Yeah, because I know ING is usually like 1 or 2 in the country every year.
Yeah, I'll bring it up real quick because I was like checking out, Max Price.
Is it private? That school you're talking about?
DeSoto? No.
Yeah, IMG's private, so that's probably a completely different bracket then.
But yeah, 3 of these top 10 teams are Texas teams. Number 5, DeSoto. Number 6, Duncanville. Number 7, North Shore. But DeSoto just lost last night, so. And I caught the Bishop Foreman's first game of the season, I think, back at.
The Cincinnati game today was pretty good.
He's on here too.
The former Ohio State quarterback Will Levis, who transferred up to Syracuse, he had quite the hard time today. That was not quite the hard time. He for the first time he threw three touchdowns in a game. I don't know where the hell that was when he was pretending that he was playing football for Ohio State.
Right.
The kid apparently, I don't know if he just, it's a whole different world to be playing at a school, like Texas, Ohio State, anything like that. Pressure gets to those kids pretty bad, and I kind of feel bad for them some of the time.
I don't feel as bad for them as I used to now with all the.
Oh well, no! Now that they get all that money.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure you're doing fine.
Yeah. Well, I know his NIL
giving
deal.
a bunch of young kids that kind of money too is also like a recipe for disaster. So.
I know his NIL deal wasn't like Marvin Harrison Jr., who actually took a pay cut to go to the NFL. That money,
I'm sure there will be plenty of players in college football that might put off going to the NFL for an extra year.
It's only a matter of
just
time.
Because they know they won't be like a, top 5 round draft pick or something like that, and the money that they can make.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. almost did it last year. This year almost stayed because he was just like, well, my rookie NHL or NFL contract is going to be like $3-4 million a year less than what my regular contract is. But, he's going to end up restructuring in a year and a half anyway, after he's the only productive player, because Kyler Murray, I don't think, is going to have much more success in the NFL. I think we're seeing the flame out of Kyler Murray.
Yeah, it's possible. I think you'll see Kyler Murray in the league for a few more seasons, at least.
I think he'll bounce. I think he'll bounce around. Let's have a quick conversation about some of our favorite players who should have made it and didn't. Teddy Bridgewater, I loved him. He and then every time he started to be able to start coming back, he just would get knocked down 200 pegs again. He just couldn't stay healthy. And he had so much promise. That's one of those guys. It's so sad to watch. A guy with so much promise, just be unable to. Sorry, I got an itch in my leg. Just be unable to put it together and stay healthy. When you got a guy Kirk Cousins, who just got a boatload of money from Atlanta, and then Atlanta drafts Michael Penix Jr., which that one doesn't make a ton of sense to me because Michael Penix Jr. did not stay healthy in college.
I kind of understand why they made the pick. I don't agree with it, but
I kind of understand it, but
maybe they know something that I don't.
They obviously know stuff we don't because we're not millionaires getting paid to, judge football players.
Yeah.
So did you see the Connor Stallions news that came out today?
No, I still need to watch that documentary too. I haven't.
So he's coaching high school.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
He, I think he was a D coordinator. He forgot what down it was. He's an offensive or defensive coordinator. He forgot what down it was, cost his team the football, and his team ended up getting like rocked, like 46-17 or something like that. That was like the beginning of it, and he's like screaming at the ref, like, you know, like old school baseball, like kicking dirt and flipping out. And the one dude in my one fantasy league, he's like the Rain Man of football. The only thing he knows is football. And I just sent the video. I'm like, guy doesn't even know football, man. The guy's an idiot.
I mean, he can't be that much of an idiot because he put that whole thing together. And honestly, I think I really want to watch the documentary just because it seems like they've got enough people like split.
Well, he finally admitted that he was doing it, but he won't admit how he did it. That's like the big reveal.
I mean,
I didn't watch it. I just saw it.
I haven't seen enough of the interviews and stuff. I have seen other people talking about it where they're like, what they make it seem like it, you know, whatever.
Well, the big thing that happened with it too that I don't think a lot of people realize is the letters the NFL sent out basically, or not NFL, NCAA sent out basically to Sherrone Moore, Jim Harbaugh, a bunch of other people that are what's called show cause letters. So if any of those guys want to work for any like, they're going to fight the Sherrone Moore right now, obviously, because he's the head coach at Michigan. But all these guys are going to have to prove cause that they belong and should be allowed to be coaching in the NCAA again. After all the crap that they pulled.
For them
what was that?
Pull off. I don't think that's going to be that difficult for them to pull off, like from a legal standpoint and everything. Like, I don't feel like there's really going to be a whole. Yeah,
there's enough. There's enough with Sherrone Moore.
We can't hire these coaches. I don't think it's going to work out the way you think it is, man. I really think like
look at Jim Tressel. Look at what they did to Jim Tressel. The guy couldn't even get a job in the NFL because players of his got tattoos.
I mean, I'm just saying that for the day and age and everything going on, whatever. I don't think people care.
I mean, I think a lot more people care than you do. I don't think they'll make him, you know, vacate the national title win, because that would just be a huge embarrassment to the NCAA. But I think they're going to end up losing a bunch of scholarships. I think they're going to end up, you know, having to vacate a bunch of, like, you know, regular season wins. I think that Michigan's going to be the team that has to go and win 1,000 games twice.
I don't think.
Hold on one second. I gotta ring my nurse because it's time for my medication. When she comes in, I gotta mute you in a minute. But I think he's going to be one of those situations where Michigan's gonna end up.
I think if they were gonna do anything, they would have already done it.
Well, that's what they couldn't. It's like a 6-month investigation period. The thing that's damning, though, is they have 56 pages of deleted messages between Connor Stalions and Sherrone Moore during the scandal or during the sign stealing and traveling. I'm curious as to, you know, whose money they were using, because, you know, the guy was making $30K a year, and, you know, he was using his GI Bill to take classes at Michigan. It's not like he was, you know, rolling in the dough. I mean, you and I both know what that's like.
Oh, I'm sure there were some boosters involved in whatever.
Oh yeah, like that's the other one that I think that's the one that's going to come out in the wash. Is going to be like some pretty big names that are involved. It's not going to be like a Tom Brady, but it's going to be.
But again, that's what I'm saying. With all the money involved and stuff, I think they got caught and they basically got like a slap on the wrist and like this. It sounds stupid to say it like this, but like almost like they got caught in this like morally gray area, and now they're being like scolded for it a little bit because it's like, now you shouldn't have done that. Like, you know,
it's the problem wrong.
Now they've tightened down a little bit and they're trying to be like everybody knows you can't do this, right? And I don't think much is going to come out of it.
But the problem
I definitely understand like frustration from like other teams and things like that, because I mean, it obviously helped them to win a national championship. I'm definitely not trying to say that it didn't, but I don't think anything's really gonna happen.
I mean, I don't think anything like super major. I think because they won the college football playoff, I think it's going to be a lot lighter than it would be if it was, you know, the old BCS days. You know, like when Tressel with the tattoos, which that one drove me nuts. Like, the players own their own belongings and they traded them for tattoos. I feel like that was the dumbest thing for players to ever get in trouble for. But,
I mean,
you know,
I don't disagree, but I also understand how that was definitely against the rules, you know?
Yeah, but it was the cover-up that was against the rules, is all it was. Like, you know, the cover-up's always worse than the crime.
They're trading, like, autographs and memorabilia for, you know, whatever. It was against the rules, and then covering it up was also against the rules. But I mean, I agree in the sense that, like, even when it happened, this is all before.
Ben.
Yeah, you're good. But like, I'm kind of talking to myself here a little bit, I guess. But like, I remember when it happened and everything. Even I thought it was like ridiculous. It's like, if players want to trade, like, or if a tattoo artist really wants to, like, trade a tattoo work, whatever, for, you know, whatever, how many hours it is to do it, you know, for an autograph from a college kid or whatever, then I mean, they should totally be allowed to do that. Damn, I would have won. But, you know, now we're in this whole NIL deal, which honestly, in my opinion, brings up a whole other thing. Because, like, let's say that Michigan does in fact end up, like, losing scholarships. I don't think it's going to ultimately affect them in any way, because NIL money exists. You know what I mean? So it's like, now you help these athletes find, like, NIL deals or whatever, and, you know, they get paid enough to pay for school and then some. You know, like, you know, what's the issue? You know, like, it used to be the only way for players to, like, really assure that they were able to pay for school was by, you know, getting a scholarship, earning a scholarship. And now it just doesn't feel like scholarships are nearly as valuable as they used to be, because you can make way more money with NIL deals than you can, you know, whatever tuition costs you.
I don't necessarily disagree when it comes to the NIL deals, unfortunately. But the problem is what they'll do is they'll reduce their ability to have the roster size. Will be, you know, the big thing that'll work for them. And
is that a thing? I don't think you can do that.
You can. That's how it worked with Penn State when the whole Jerry Sandusky thing. They reduced they reduced the scholarship, and in doing so, they reduced, you know, they couldn't have like 150 people on the sideline anymore. You know, you ended up reducing it by like 20. I mean, I think that's what's going to end up. You can't have the NIL, like, they also can suspend, like, what NIL money you could use. Like, well, you can't use this NIL money with this. They can also ban NIL boosters for doing stupid crap. What do you got there? A 5'4"? Can't see. Or 3'4". Off suited. Are you big blind or button?
Button, yeah. No, I was trying to Google real fast, because I don't think I've ever heard of teams losing roster spots. I have heard of them, like, losing some or all of their scholarships, and, like, losing, like, recruiting abilities and things like that. Yeah, especially when we're talking about, like, the death penalty for, like, SMU or USC. And I want to say Baylor's recovering from a death penalty or something.
No, Baylor,
or like
got,
something
like,
damn close.
Baylor got a bunch of their basketball program. Almost got the death penalty.
Well, they had that issue with their football players and stuff too a couple of years back. And I think you're right. I don't think it was quite the death penalty, but they lost, like, a lot of scholarships and stuff.
Yeah.
Over it. I want to say they might have even lost, like, all scholarships for, like, 2 years or something like that, but I don't remember exactly.
No, that would have been the equivalent of a death penalty. I mean,
well, death penalty also, like, removes your recruiting ability. But I mean, if you don't have scholarships, your recruiting ability might as well be zero anyway. So Real
the other
hard to
one,
convince kids to come play for you when you don't have scholarships for them. But now with NIL deals, I feel like you can be like, we can pay you, like it'll be fine.
yeah, well, I think with the what they're going to do with that is going to be surprising to a lot of people. The NIL deals. I think the NCAA is going to figure out a way to not exactly take it away, but like be able to be like, okay, well now you can't give X number of players NIL deals, like because of the scholarship. So it's going to be like taking away scholarships, but you're taking away how many NIL deals you're allowed to hand out. Like that's the only way I see it working. Because otherwise, there's no, like, you might as well just cancel the NCAA and just call this NFL Junior.
I mean, I don't disagree. I think the NCAA is going to try and figure out some ways to
what do you have there? I can't
rein
see
in
Jack.
and control the NIL deals, but I just it's going to be awfully hard to do that because you have Jack 6.
Okay, never mind.
But it's going to be awfully hard to like control those people. And like, here's the crazy thing, because like I agree with you. I think the NCAA needs to figure out a way to kind of wrangle this and control it just a little bit, because I can't remember the name of the guy, but the guy who owns Nike, he like doesn't even work for Nike anymore or whatever, but he does still like control it, I guess.
Yeah, he still like he still owns Nike, but he just doesn't do anything.
And he's a Oregon alum, Ducks.
Yeah, that's where they got all those free uniforms.
Yeah, and so he has literally come out and been like, I will give every player at Oregon an NIL deal, you know? And it's like, that's insane. Can you imagine being like, oh, if I go play for Oregon, I can get a Nike NIL deal?
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like that's such a huge incentive for players to like go there. You're not going to get that NIL deal anywhere else. You know what I mean?
About 8.5. Thank you. I was just throwing away a piece of paper. Sorry, the nurse is asking me a question because I got to take my meds for my ankles because they're all swollen. Yeah, no, I think like the only way they're going to be able to do it is like, well, you're limited on your NIL deals to this number now, which then it's going to be a whole nother
again, like, because that's one of those things. It's like the NCAA can only really regulate like the schools, and because all the NIL money,
you would have had a flush, huh?
Outside sources. No, I had a Jack Hart.
Hart. I thought it looked like I can't see it. It's all. It's
no,
like
you're good.
Out.
You're good. Yeah.
I would like. I think that's the only way because the Alabama just scored 21-13.
But yeah, no, I mean, because I agree. Like, it should be something like that, or even like a cap space or something. I don't know. But
that's
the
actually
issue
a good idea.
is just that the NCAA controls, you know, the colleges and schools, and they don't really control.
Well, they don't even control the
you know, like
the
outside sources of money. You know what I mean? Because it would basically be like telling them, you know, like your boosters can only give so much money every year. You know what I mean? Like there's no control on
Hold
that.
on one second. I'll be right
people
back.
Bringing in money. Yeah, you're good. Man, I was definitely going to play this.
False alarms. I thought
I'm glad I got out of the way. Oh, and everybody
thought
has
she was
10.
walking
Jeez.
back down. No, I'd be more, you know. I don't know. But I mean,
they should try and figure something out.
Yeah.
But I know it's going to be hard, you know, because honestly, I agree with you. I think the biggest issue here is you're talking about having like, I think Oregon is probably the best example here. You're talking about having an alumni that owns, you know, like $1 billion business with a ton of, you know, money and resources and everything. And for them to basically come out and even say out that they're like full on supporting and backing the athletes of one particular school, it's unfair, you know, like it's not.
I mean, you know, the guy who owns the Limited, who owns Victoria's Secret, did the same thing for Ohio State, basically. Lex Lesnar, I forget his actual name. He basically was just like, he's been funding that for, you know, since the minute they announced the NIL deal. That and like I think Germain Toyota, the Germain family, they own back when I was living in Ohio, they owned a toy store, a hardware store, and like 3 car dealerships, all like built by family, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Like, you know, one dude, like grandpa decided to start a business, and then grandpa's like, I sold these tools pretty well. I think I can sell cars. And then started selling cars. I sold these pretty well. I think I can sell toys.
Yeah.
You know, I have
Like,
I
mean,
have
but
much
that's what I'm saying.
disdain for Lex Wessner because of the whole Victoria's Secret thing and, you know, sexualizing what I think is sexualizing little girls, but you know, with the limited and limited 2 and all that crap. But, you know, it's kind of cool to see some of this old like money like actually made by like somebody like Nike. Like imagine like you are sitting in college one day and you come up with Nike is the Roman goddess of speed or something. I forget what it is. That's how they came up with the name. And you come up with that, and then, you know, you manage to sign Michael Jordan, and now you have the biggest shoe company on the planet.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this or not, but I think the fun additional part of that story is they hired a girl at, I want to say it was UCLA, who was in like graphic design, and they paid her with a homecoming dress to come up with the Nike logo that is now the swoosh we all know. So she was paid.
Awesome.
She was paid in a homecoming dress for that logo. Yeah.
All right, hold on, I'm about to take my meds.
Yeah, no worries. Do you, boo? Take care of yourself. Man, TCU really looking good. I'm hoping they're going to win the Big 12 and get themselves a position in the playoffs. It'd be cool. I don't exactly like expect them to win or anything, but I'm going to really love this this new system. I was actually watching some. I think it might have been Bleacher Report was talking about how like kind of coming in that number 5 spot would probably be like kind of the best spot to be, because you kind of miss the bye week top 4 guys, and you get like a matchup against like a lower ranked whatever that could help propel you into like the semifinals or finals or whatever. And I want to say, if I remember correctly, they were talking about it would have been like ideal for Notre Dame to land in that position, but you know, then Notre Dame went and lost this game this week against was it New Mexico or something, or Northern Illinois, something like that. It was ridiculous, really. After that win against A&M, I was feeling pretty good about Notre Dame. I thought it was going to be a pretty good season for them. I've been wanting to see them, you know, be national championship contenders, and I feel like with the playoff system the way it is now, like that's kind of the best scenario for them. Their best shot at being able to, you know, get another national championship. You know, to be honest, I'm not even sure if they would have. Like it would have been incredibly difficult for them to win another national championship, you know, prior to this whole playoff bracket and everything too. But I mean, even with the one loss, maybe they can still get their way. I think there's still a lot of football to be played, and I think we could definitely end up with a couple of 1 or 2 loss teams in the bracket. But I'm pretty pumped for Texas. I think Texas is going to make a deep run for a natty this year. If they don't make it to the national championship game, I feel like I'd be surprised. We got a couple of the top offenses. Need our running backs to stay healthy is kind of the big issue there. I think you're probably going to have like your standard teams show up in there. You're obviously going to have like Georgia, Ohio. We'll see what Michigan does the rest of the season, but I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of just miss out. Trying to think of some other like big teams. I would imagine Alabama probably be in there. But the big thing, semi nice thing in my opinion is kind of that Ugh, balls. What, this guy just left? Now I got distracted and lost my train of thought. Yeah, why not? I'll just go all in here. Fold because you're afraid of the flush. There you go. Damn. Man, I haven't gotten like an ace king or pocket aces or like anything in forever. I'm about to be tilting so hard. I need my luck to come back a little bit, get into a little bit of a rhythm. I'd actually like to drive up to the casino and try and play some actual poker. To be honest, actually, I've been talking about it for like a year or two, but I've been wanting to try and put together like an online poker night with just the boys and whatever. But I just haven't really been able to, like, I feel like I've worked out the logistics, but like, I don't know, it's like everybody's schedule or whatever. I can't seem to get everybody on the same page. Every time I ask like my group of friends or whatever, I'm like, y'all want to do a poker night? And it's like, everybody's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, what day would be good? And then I get nothing. It's like,
that's, yeah, organizing poker since college has been impossible.
I guess nobody actually wants to play some poker.
Yeah, like, and then, you know, the other, who's the big,
I managed to stretch this,
I wonder if Jerry Jones has any big NIL deals out there.
Only going to be a half hour at first.
I wonder if Jerry Jones has any NIL deals out there.
Though.
Do you know if Jerry Jones has any NIL deals?
Man, see, this is what just keeps happening to me. Every time I get a decent hand, I got 10 jack, and then I get some bullshit flop like this. I just, ugh.
Can you hear me again or no? Hello? Damn.
I think I've had one pocket pair like all damn night. Come on, man. No, Kenny, I cannot.
How about now? No?
Try leaving and coming back in. So you mute and unmute, but... To be honest, too, it's possible it could be me. Because actually, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, it might just be me.
Can you hear me now?
No, you're back in here. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can call. Hang on, give me a second. I'll play this hand and then I'll refresh my page. I'll see if I can fix it. It's probably me, to be honest. Ugh, I'm gonna lose again. Kenny, you there?
I am here.
I can hear you now. Okay, I think it was just my
Alright.
headset.
Hold on 1 second. Let's see this.
Give me another heart. Fuck.
All right. So since we're talking NIL deals, apparently it looks like Jerry Jones is a player for NIL deals for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
But I don't. Where did he go? Where did Jerry Jones go to school?
Arkansas.
Oh, did he? Okay, because it said it
Played
wasn't
with Jimmy
his
Johnson.
team. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I didn't realize he went to Arkansas.
Yep.
I knew he had all that oil money. I just didn't know where he got it from.
Man played football for Arkansas. Go Hogs.
Woo Pig Suey. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I was just. Did you get knocked out already?
Yeah, I did.
Did you go all in on something stupid?
No, I mean well, yeah, I mean I went all in, but it wasn't something stupid.
I didn't even realize that. It was actually, this is probably like one of those like everybody knows facts. You know who Lee Corso's college roommate was, right?
I feel like I've heard this before.
Burt Reynolds.
Was it? Yeah, that's right.
But they just had Lee Corso. They just went over like a whole bunch of his stats. And it's like obviously different era of football, but he ran like he apparently was like a fantastic like the quarterback when it was at FSU. But back in those days, the quarterbacks mostly ran the ball. They weren't really swinging it around like
Right.
like they do nowadays. And then the other big interesting sports story, if nobody paid attention, and they just really released like the big story about it, was the Chiefs super fan, 17 and a half years in prison.
Yeah,
which
I saw that.
I was watching that the other night, and I'm like, how do you rob 11 banks, get caught for all of them, and only get 17 and a half years in prison?
Well, apparently a
That's
big
one of
thing that
those-
caught him was because of the Chiefs games.
Well, no, what caught him, and the best part was, is he actually came up with like a fairly ingenious plot, which was, so what he was doing is he was parking at like local motels and stuff, and like riding through like the woods and on a bike with like paintball gear on, basically. Would show up at a bank and then ride through the woods. He popped out of the woods at the wrong time, or out of somebody's backyard at the wrong time, and a cop saw him with like an overloaded backpack and caught him after he robbed. And this one was kind of fucked up that he robbed the Tulsa County Teachers Credit Union. So he basically robbed a bunch of teachers, like joint accounts and stuff like that, and that's what got him caught. But I mean, 11 banks, 17 and a half years. He's making probably 20 grand because he figured out the system of open the $100 cage and then kick them out so they couldn't put the die packs in. But what he was doing and how he was able to go to all those Chiefs games, you're right, was he was using all that money to gamble to buy Chiefs tickets.
Yeah.
But he's only going to end up doing 8 years for that. He made a couple $100,000.
Really
got to have
funny.
his fun. He's going to be out. He's going to do halftime. He's a first time criminal.
Oh yeah,
he's
even
going to do halftime.
he might not. He might do a third.
They said he has to do at least half.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, there's they basically were like, there's no way we're letting him get away with anything but, you know, at least half, because of like the level of felony that it was.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching the story, I kind of felt bad for the one girl, because apparently she'd been like hanging out with him, like trusting him, thinking like, oh, cool, look, we're buddies, we're friends, we're this. And then she finds out all this shit, and I'm like, that's one way to find out, you know, this dude you thought was like your best buddy, that you go into the casino with, you taking you to Chiefs games, is really just fucking robbing banks.
I mean, way to just stay blissfully unaware, though, and just, you know, like not even ask, like, what do you do for a living? You know, like, how do you have the money to do all these super
well, I mean,
nice
they weren't
things
like
all the
hanging
time?
out like a ton. They'd hung out probably like 5 or 6 times. So it's like, you know, you're still getting to know somebody at that point. Like, you're not really going to be like.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? It's like you go into
he probably
a casino
also
and you
had
see
a
him,
real
like,
job.
doing like big bets and everything. And you're like, what do you do for a living? You know, like no one asks.
Like I mean, I had plenty of friends who make big bets like that. I had one buddy, you know, he's got like 30 grand in like DraftKings, and I don't even bother asking. I'm like, I don't even want to know how you got that fucking high. It was like the kid's like a parlay genius, and he only bets ones that he like figures out that he's like, I'm dead sure on this. He does a lot of those player prop ones. Where are you at now? Are you up top now? Yeah, there you are.
I finally get a pocket pair, and then the 3 fucking cards on the flop are all over. Fuck me. I'm having the worst night so far. Baccarat's been good to me, but poker is not.
Just wait for your hand, man. You have how much money you got left?
Well, I mean, I'm up now.
Oh yeah.
So
Are you in a tournament, or are you just like playing open table?
I'm just playing on the table, yeah.
Yeah, just wait for your hand, man. You don't gotta.
But I mean,
especially you're not even a blind
your 2
there.
picks on Banker got us. Well, we went from 4 to 8. We went from 4 to 8, and then 8 to 16. And then well, not quite, because it was Banker, so we got like you know 0.9 or like a 1.9 multiplier instead of 2, whatever it was. And then I went
what do you
back
think
in just a minute ago, and I did a 10, so it put us up to 25.
Nice. So what do you think the is that a 6? Oh my god, no way, that's a fucking 6.
I know, right?
What do you think the let's take an estimate here. What do you think the entire NIL deal for the University of Northern Illinois is? It's got to be what, $100K for that whole team?
For who? Sorry, say it again.
Northern Illinois. The NIL deal for Northern Illinois, who beat Notre Dame today.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, because I mean it's always crazy, right? Because I would think that like every college has at least like one alum or something that's got some money.
I'm just saying, there's nobody on that roster that's good enough for you to like really pay. But that coach, apparently their coach went to school there, and like apparently that's like been his dream job since forever. He was so they got their guy there, so good for them. They had that run. I think me and you were probably still like either in high school or in AIT when Northern Illinois had that crazy run where they had they went like 8 or 9-0 before the wheels fell off. And they hadn't beaten anybody like this. This is their literal highest. This is the highest they've ever beaten anybody. The like number 5 in the country is the biggest. Well, not biggest. What's the word I'm looking for here? They've never beaten anybody number 5 or higher till today.
Yeah.
I really
saw
like
that earlier.
Freeman.
Coach was like in tears about it. Like,
Yeah.
And I mean, I would
really
be
like-
too, man. Like that's quite a historical hurdle to
Yeah.
get over.
That's like
for
that's one of the
a
biggest upsets in
team like
history.
that. Yeah.
Like that was honestly one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life is seeing the, you know, like that, like, you know, he's like he went to that school. I forget, like they did a whole thing on him during the show. I wasn't really paying much attention to that. I was talking to a couple other people, but they let's see, what are they game that I want to put on because this game's now over. Ooh, Jesus, Tennessee is running away. Nebraska is running away.
Yeah, most of the games
Oklahoma-
today are all going to be blowouts. There weren't really any good, like.
Oklahoma still is only up by 2 points. Yeah, it's going to be the later games that are going to end up being good.
I didn't win any of that. Fuck me.
No, thank you.
All right.
You're very pretty, though.
All right, I'm calling it a night. Enough of this nonsense.
Boise and Oregon.
Our bank is up though from where we started. So.
Play one more tournament, dude. Just.
Well, I mean, there aren't any like tournaments.
No, there's
Like-
not like every 10-minute tournaments. It's not like Poker Stars up here.
I mean, they have them like every. I think it's like every half hour or something like that.
Okay. Then you just can't get a car. Your car dead over there. I see what you're saying. Where is it?
I also don't feel like sitting through a whole tournament because that could put me here for a couple hours.
Ain't nothing wrong.
Not
with
that I anticipate that happening. My luck has been such shit the last couple of weeks. I gotta fix my energy or find my mojo or something. I gotta get it back. I usually manage to win, like when I'm gambling and stuff, about a third of the time, which is pretty good when it comes to gambling.
Yeah.
But like the last couple of weeks, I've been so off. Like I don't know if it's like Mercury's in retrograde or I don't know what the fuck it is. You know, the stars and the moons are off kilter. I don't know. I need to go
I
see
can't
my
believe
psychic or something, I
Ohio
guess.
State just covered again. That's
Oh, did
insane.
they? Good.
Yeah,
Good.
55 fucking points.
TCU's about to get the second win, 45-0 over Long Island right now.
I mean, I see like you're not playing anybody though.
Colorado.
If you're not playing anybody. Yeah, 56-0 against Western Michigan.
Classic.
Yeah, like
Stop sharing this.
the big thing with that would be with like a lot of the NIL. I still can't believe this. This is crazy. Like I don't know if you have SEC network down there now that you know Texas has left the Big 12, but it is, you know.
Well, I'm sure they're still
left.
running the Longhorn Network. Actually, no, I take it back because I think Longhorn Network did finally end.
Oh, you guys had your own network?
Well, so
Oh,
Texas started
oh.
their own network like forever ago because they wanted to start a Big 12 network, and like the rest of the Big 12, which is like they weren't really for it. So Texas was like, fine, we're going to create our own channel then, and so they created the Longhorn Network, and I think it was about the same time that the SEC had started their network, and so Longhorn Network actually got like plenty of traction. A number of the schools were like super pissed about it because they didn't get in on it, and then they went and created a Big 12 network anyway, but Longhorn Network existed first, so they got to like cover their own games and stuff. It turned into like this whole thing. It was really kind of funny, but I think it ended like just a couple of years ago or something. They finally took it off because the majority of their footage was like Bevo's pen, you know, like it wasn't even anything necessarily like worth watching. It was just watching the bull hang out on the fields or whatever, you know, or in his home field, you know, like. But
it looks like Houston's going to get the ball back with probably about. They have 3 timeouts left. They just hit the 2-minute timeout, and they're down by 2 points to Oklahoma right now, and that should make you pretty happy, I believe, buddy. But the Longhorn Network, that was because the Big Ten Network came up with the Big Ten Network, and they launched that, and that was mostly like other sports really besides football. But you'd get like, Ohio State's playing Western Michigan. They're not going to put that on Fox. You're not going to put that on a regular TV. And then SEC Network was a thing for a while. I'm just curious if like how it works now with Texas moving over to the SEC, which I think you guys might have an easier time at the Red River rivalry than expected, because there's absolutely no reason Oklahoma should be having this much trouble with Houston.
No, well, to be honest, I thought Texas should have won last year, and
what, the Natty?
No, the Red River rivalry.
Oh yeah,
shootout.
Yeah, that game is such unpredictability. Like, I mean, I know I always talk about
no matter what, it's always anybody's game.
Yeah, I always talk about
one of my
like
favorite
Ohio
games
State.
to watch every year.
Oh, me too. And
I hate that it's at 11
guy.
a.m. I hate that it's at 11 a.m., but you literally couldn't do it at any other time.
Like I'm an Ohio State guy, like, and I always, like, to me, Ohio State versus Michigan will always be the biggest rivalry in the country. But that Red River rivalry game is the most unpredictable rivalry in the country. Like, the one, I forget what year it was, but Oklahoma won, but Oklahoma came in like 4-6 or something. Like, they were having a terrible season, and Texas was undefeated, and Oklahoma came in and won by like 15 points. I was like, what in the world just happened? Like, it's such a cool rivalry, and it's at the Texas State Fair, right? Like, you're surrounded by fried butter and all that good crap, and fried ranch dressing.
That's literally why you can't do it at any other time than.
So why has it got to be so early in the morning?
Well, so the way it traditionally goes is, sorry, I'm trying to find what week that game is going to be. I think it's week 6. You can't do it at any other time because it's at the state fair. So traditionally, it's week 7, October 12th. So traditionally what happens is people get up early, they go to the Cotton Bowl, and basically the state fair is literally on the other side of the parking lot. So you go park at the Cotton Bowl, and it's basically like a huge parking lot. You tailgate, you go to the game, and then after the game, everybody goes to the fair.
Okay.
Everybody's already drinking by like 9-10 in the morning, and then they go into the game. If the game was at like 6 p.m., you'd have people that were drinking literally all day, and then they would go in for OU versus Texas. It would be like an actual shootout. Like you would end up with fights and everything. Like, so you literally can't do it like any later in the day. You know what I mean? Like, you have to do it first thing. And I mean, everybody ends up topping themselves off at the state fair and loading themselves up on all the fried food and, fair games and rides and everything. And I mean, I've never gotten to go. I would love to. It's on my bucket list to like go to the shootout and then go to the fair. But I'm also fully aware of like how packed that stadium is, how packed the fair is, and then you put the two together. It's literally shoulder to shoulder. I've talked to people that have gone and like do it every year and stuff. It sounds like a great experience, but I'm also fully aware of like just what a clusterfuck it is,
Yeah. So since you guys like to talk high school football, I live in an area, Easton. I'm in the hospital in Phillipsburg. 2 towns are next to each other. One is in New Jersey, the other one's in Pennsylvania. They hold the record for the longest high school football rivalry in the country, and I think it's like the second longest football rivalry period in the country. Oh
yeah, I remember you mentioning this. Like,
yeah, so they play every Thanksgiving, Easton versus Peaburg, even though they're not in the same leagues anymore. And it's
games.
It's, dude, like they play at like 9 in the morning. And so I used to work at a liquor store and a bar, and we'd open early, and people, they like walk to the stadium because it's we have a college in town, Lafayette University. Fun little fact about Lafayette University. It's where Steve Spagnuolo got his start as defensive coordinator, working for a girl I know's dad, who was the coach of Lafayette College for like 30 some odd years. But so there, it's at the college, and like you have guys who've been going for 30, 40 years, and like, so it's Thanksgiving, instead of watching the Macy's parade or anything like that, and you can watch the game on TV. It's on the local TV here. Like, you go and you walk up, and people like are belligerently drunk walking up the streets of Easton and College Hill, just belligerently drunk, carrying 12 packs to the stadium, chugging beers all the way up the hill, getting belligerently drunk, and then then they either walk or get rides or drive themselves home hammered at like noon to go eat a bunch of turkey and fall asleep on the couch. Like, it's such a weird, there's like these weird football traditions, like it, obviously the college Red River rivalry is like 5 times the size, but these weird like traditions exist everywhere. Like, they had they had a game, I forget what year it was, that they did the makeup game, but there was a tie game. Easton and Peaburg had tied, so they did a makeup game, and they brought Eli and Peyton in to coach the they're all old, like not old men, but all of them like in their 30s, and they brought Eli and Peyton in to coach both teams.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
R.I.P. Notre Dame season. I don't know if anybody follows any of the guys on Barstool, but the one dude's a huge Notre Dame fan, and he's like, just end the program. We were talking about it earlier. We feel like we're waiting been waiting since the last one they won was, I think the last national title they won was Lou Holtz was the coach. And that would have been like 88 or 89 or something like that, Catholics versus convicts, which would have been Jimmy Johnson was.
To be honest, I thought it was like the 60s or something since they won their last, but
no, it was like the 80s. It's Jimmy Johnson was the coach of Miami. Close games, but it's like one of those things I can't believe. And Freeman's such a good coach. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's, the Catholic, that's what I'm looking for here.
Private school
population of the United States is dropping, and so kids just aren't going to Notre Dame anymore.
I'm sure it's not a requirement that they're actually Catholic or anything, but
oh no, you have to go to mass though if you go to Notre Dame.
That I think you're right. I think it is a part of going to school there or whatever. But honestly, because it's like going to Texas Christian. You don't necessarily have to be Christian, but they do make you take a religious studies class, like to get.
Yeah, I had to take a religious studies class, but I got to take
not every college requires that, but like the religious campuses tend to. I'm sure Notre Dame does something like that. I'm sure that they probably do require that you go to mass once a day or something like that, or once a week. Or
I think it's just Sundays you got to go to mass.
But in this day and age and everything too, I wouldn't be surprised if they curb those rules a bit in order to get better recruits. You know what I mean? It's
that's true.
I can't imagine they're going to be like, nope, they're not Catholic, they can't come here. It's like, no, man, this is like a top recruit in the country. We could use him. We would win football games. And they're like, well, I guess we could make it.
Yeah, and Notre Dame's got to have one of the biggest NIL deals of all. They're like that name is huge. Everybody,
the beautiful campus, and I mean the private schools are always great anyway. Because honestly, I have to assume that's a big part of how TCU manages to do the recruiting they do. I do not understand how they manage to bring in the level of talent that they bring into the football team. When I've been on that campus, I was there, I got my degree and everything, and I'm like, I don't know what they're convincing you is so great here but like keep coming, guys. Like I love it. I want my program to keep winning, but it always blows me away because I'm like I really wonder what these guys are telling you in your living rooms that are making you commit to TCU. You know.
Now here's the I'll leave you with this one question. I don't know if you paid attention. Have you paid attention to the field at the temporary field at Northwestern University?
Yeah. I saw that after you had like sent the
I don't
like
understand
the cinematic view or whatever it was, like the panoramic view of the whole thing. I think it looks really great. But I feel like the issue, like, because you had mentioned like why build a new stadium? Why not just renovate this one? I feel like the renovating of that stadium would leave you without field for a time.
Well, no,
I agree with you though. Like
they already put the temporary one up.
Beautiful.
That's a temporary one.
Yeah,
they put it up. Well, it was already up for like the lacrosse and soccer field. So they already put that one up. It was already up. Half the seats are, it's Northwestern. They don't sell a ton of seats. Half the seats are like, super VIP seats, which is, great and all. But what's crazy to me is, you have this opportunity to like move, and wouldn't be a huge move, and it wouldn't cost you any more money than what you're spending, like the $8 million you're spending to renovate the campus or to renovate the stadium that you already have.
Other plans for that field, or to even use it as a practice.
I mean, it's the field hockey, lacrosse.
I don't want to say it's a terrible decision before seeing like the new.
Yeah, I know why it's, but because
I mean I'm with you because I'm
there.
But I mean I'm with you in the sense
beautiful.
of like I wonder what they're thinking because it is. It's got a beautiful view. It would be a lot of fun to like play on that field and
imagine the recruits Northwestern could finally get. They wouldn't have to be the Vanderbilt of the North.
Yeah.
But all right, buddy, I'll let you
even
run.
with it being like such a smaller stadium, it looks great. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens with the new one, but I agree. It is a little crazy because you're right. They're not selling like 20,000 tickets or anything. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but. It's a beautiful field either way, and hopefully the new one will be just as nice.
Yeah, I'll let you run.
I appreciate you hanging out with me.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. Oh man, it looks like Oklahoma's going to end up hanging on here. Actually, Texas or Houston's going to end up with, if they get a stop here, they'll have about 40 seconds.
Well, I might go see
and
if
they
I can
need a
turn that
touchdown
on and catch it. So we'll see if I can catch
but the fact that Houston kind of sucks this year and Oklahoma can't put them away is kind of funny.
Yeah, a little bit.
And everybody in the stands at Oklahoma is doing the horns down. It's like, guys, I don't know if you watched the game earlier, but now's not the time to be doing that.
Very different games. Very different games.
But all right, buddy, I'll talk to you later.
I appreciate you. Yes, sir. Love you. Take care of yourself.
I will. Peace out.
All right. Later. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody hanging out, checking out the stream and doing whatever. Definitely not my luckiest night or anything, but, not a bad night. But I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.